I had that dream again last night. It's the third night running. You don't fall asleep after a dream like that. Not once it brings on the sweat, the tossing, the turning, the thoughts flying around your mind at 1,500 miles an hour. I don't think I'll ever sleep again, knowing that one company can charge so much for a circuit board and a piece of plastic casing. Maybe one day I'll make it through the night. One day. Salvation.
Not again. The reason you can't bloody sleep is because you insist on having all these lights set up.
But I need them to keep the ghosts away. When the pandemic hit, it brought out the worst in people. They were selling cam links online for double the price because people really needed them. Now, I was really lucky to get my hands on one before the rush, and I can honestly say it's had a massive impact on my life. Oh, by the way, if you've somehow ended up here and you have no idea what a cam link is, it basically takes a camera's HDMI signal and allows you to input it into your computer via USB, so you can use it for live streams and video calls. Putting it simply, the Cam Link is fantastic, but it's just not affordable, and seeing as surely this is just a hunk of plastic, when I found out there was an alternative on wish.com for £20, and then actually it turned up on Amazon now for, wait for this, £6.99. How have I gone on wish.com and waited 3 weeks for delivery and managed to pay more for a product? I'm probably the only person ever not to find a bargain on Wish. I wanted to compare the two to put an end to my sleepless night problem. So here's what happened in the showdown called Cam Link versus not Cam Link, because I can't actually find an official name for this thing. So let's take you to day one, the arrival of the product. Test one. Durability. You gotta love the box it turned up in. Oh, actually, the box has something in it that I didn't order, and it looks like an adapter for an iPhone, so that's cool. I mean, not for me because I use an Android, and not for many other people because according to the package, it says it works with iPhones 5, 6, and 7. Oh, and an iPod Touch. Do they still make them? So outside the package, this thing feels cheap, but not much cheaper than the Cam Link though. There's pretty much nothing to report here. So I put the Cam Link in the back of the computer to connect it all up, and straight away, the internals of it fell out of the protective case. So some positives and some negatives here. The positives is I was right, these things are just plastic and a circuit board. The negative, well, even though I paid double for this compared to how much it is on Amazon, its durability gets a score of 0 Elgatos. The Cam Link hasn't ever let me down, which when you live is really important. I've dropped it loads of times and I've got a lot of trust in it, so I'm going to give it a 5 Elgatos. Comment below if you've had any issues with your Elgato Cam Link. It's really helpful for people watching. So test 2, image quality. So I'm going to test this on 2 cameras, a Sony a6500 and an old GoPro 3, because I recently reviewed using a GoPro 3 as a webcam and came to the conclusion that you shouldn't bother because it meant you needed a Cam Link, which if you're trying to keep the setup super cheap, did the exact opposite. So let's check out the image quality. I'm going to start with just poor lighting. So I'm using OBS to see this, and the good news is it's working. I wasn't expecting that, and actually it looks okay. So I'm just going to take a quick recording of it and then pop in the Elgato Cam Link. Okay, so the Cam Link is now in, and there's a big difference. It just has less grain, it's got more detail, it's handling the light better. The not a Cam Link fake looks like it's struggling, but the not a Cam Link is obviously way less. So for £20 or 7 as it is now. So let's play my lighting and setup, see if that makes a difference. So as you can see, it's better, but still not as good. It doesn't seem to shadow and highlights well, and the resolution's definitely lower. One thing I will say is if someone's watching your live on a mobile device, they're probably not going to notice much difference on the resolution front though. But when you go live on YouTube, for example, this is also going to get downgraded a little more, so you need to consider that. This is still better than a default webcam, and because you can blur the background, it wins. I'm going to give the not a Cam Link 3 out of 5 Elgatos for image quality, because really being able to have that blur behind you makes it better than a webcam and well worth the £6, I think. Test 3, sound. The Cam Link, the real Cam Link that carries sound over from your camera, and it sounds good, like this. Okay, so this is the Cam Link sound test, and just look at that. Oh, it does look so much better, doesn't it? Let's see what happens with the sound from the not real Cam Link. Sound test, by the way, I'm red because of the gym, not because I've just got back from it, not because the camera makes me look awful and red. This is just how I look right now because I'm hot. So that's the sound test from the not real Cam Link. How'd that do? I actually can't tell much of a difference there. My first concern was that it wasn't going to work at all, and it does, so that's good. Let me know what you think of the sound in the comments. I'm not sure if I'm going crazy, but does the fake Cam Link actually sound a little better? I'm going to give fake Cam Link 5 Elgatos out of 5 for sound. I'm impressed. Test 4, reliability. Now this is a tricky one because I've not had this long enough to do a long-term test. So if you have one and you've had it a while, let me know how you got on in the comments so that other viewers can learn from your advice. It's a community thing, this channel. What I will say is this. The third time I used it, I just got these coloured bars appear on screen. It wouldn't find my camera at all, but weirdly, when I plugged it into the old GoPro, it would work. And then the next day they were both working. So it's that famous Chinese reliability. Now part of me wonders if it's because it broke straight away and there's just a circuit board hanging out of the back of my computer now, which is really my fault. It might be that, it is pretty fragile. Looking at other Amazon reviews though, it looks a bit hit and miss. I mean, I found a lot of people saying the same thing. And although it's not been tested for long enough, I'm gonna have to base it on my own experience and give it 3.5 Elgatos out of 5. I'll update the top comment of this video if things change over time. Test 5, the GoPro test. So I mentioned earlier in the video, I made another video about using a GoPro 3 as a webcam, and in summary, they're good as webcams, but when you add on the extra mic and the cam link, you might as well just get a GoPro 8 or 9, which doesn't need a cam link and the inbuilt mic's better. Well, this changes that. You still need an external mic, so let's just have a look what it looks like when you hook the old GoPro up. Unfortunately, it's a similar story. It's not bad, but it's lost resolution, the image is darker, it's got more saturation, but it's clearly not as good. I'd say it's still better than the crappy inbuilt webcam on the iMac though. So I'm gonna give it 3 Elgatos out of 5 for the GoPro. And that concludes my review. Should you buy one? Yeah. Should you expect it to work? Who knows? But it's £6 on Amazon with Prime delivery bringing it to you next day rather than waiting a month on which. It means you can set up an old GoPro and multicam your lives or connect it to your DSLR or mirrorless to make almost high quality video calls and live screens. Let's face it, even the low quality but with the blur will still look better than anyone else's in your video conference anyway if you've got a DSLR or mirrorless. Don't buy it if you're a serious streamer because you just can't rely on it. I'll leave links to the cheapest ones I could find on Amazon, but don't blame me if it doesn't work longer than a month or a day or a minute or at all. That's on you. If you enjoyed this review, check out my longer review on using a GoPro, an old GoPro, as a webcam here, or watch this video on lighting basics, because lighting is really important, and you can do a lot with cheaper kit if you get it right. And subscribe, because we release 3 videos a week, and we're doing it for the next 10 years to help you make better videos, promote them, present basically everything you need to do to make an awesome YouTube channel. And actually, it will be 8 years left in January.